Morning Masters Podcast. Your host, Maine, of course. I got a special guest across from me, Miss Joya.
What's up?
I'm looking at the board. Okay, I'm good. I got this.
Okay.
I'm looking at the board. Don't get scared, but you good. I'm telling you. How you been, Joya?
I've been good. Just working.
I feel
trying
like
to stay safe.
I feel like this is a long time coming. I feel like we've been talking about doing a podcast together for like maybe 2 years, maybe something like that.
Things happen, but I'm here today.
No, it's a good thing because I always feel like timing is everything in my opinion. So I feel like it happened before because it make more sense now. Like before you weren't doing all the stuff you're doing now. You know what I'm saying? Slim, you good? Oh, okay. Slim over here pouring a drink. Also, I got my camera guy / my co-host sometimes. Slim, doing the camera work. Slim, say hi to the people.
Yes.
Okay. All right. This is getting weird. Anyway, so Joya, how I start my podcast off normally, I like to introduce the person to the people. So you're a popular person, so everybody probably know you right now. I know. But for my audience that doesn't know you, maybe the 2% that don't know you, tell them about yourself a little bit, like where you from, where you come from.
My name is Joya. I'm from Augusta. I'm born and raised. Been here most of my life. Spent a little bit of time in Statesboro, a little bit of time in Orlando, a little bit of time in Tallahassee, but 95% of my life has been here. Yeah.
Good. So let's talk about where you're from, what side of town you're from. Like, where'd you grow up at in Augusta?
I grew up on Lumpkin Road, South Augusta, basically my whole life. Yeah, before you start your jokes.
Okay.
I lived on Lumpkin Road up until 8th grade. So I went to Glen Hills Elementary, Glen Hills Middle. 8th grade, my mom decided that she wants to move to Helpsville. So I went to Spirit Creek and then Cross Creek. So I'm from South Augusta, but
I see you trying to reiterate that. It's all good. It's not a big deal.
Before you start your jokes.
Nah, it's nothing wrong being a Razorback. I promise you. It's all fine. So what do people know you for? And I ask these questions because it's hard asking you because I know, and me knowing of you, I feel like I knew who you were before I knew who you were.
Yeah.
You're very popular, I guess, in your party days. You know what I'm saying? You were known as Joy or whatever. We ain't gonna get into all that, but 2 separate Twitter accounts. Hey, it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know my research. You know what I'm saying? I know the person. But one of the things I think that was dope in what you're doing now, obviously, which we'll get into in a little while, was that I knew you worked at Liz in the mall too. Mm-hmm. So it's a popular spot. So I'm pretty sure if you weren't known by then, you're gonna be known working at Liz anyway. But you was already known, I'm pretty sure, before you start working at Liz.
Yeah, I'm a very social person. Like, I'm the kind of person that can go anywhere and talk to anybody. I can make a conversation with a brick wall. Like, I'm going to talk. If I see you, like how I did him, hey, where you from? What's your name? I'm going to talk to you. But I think from moving from, like, South Augusta out to Helpsville, as well as being in, like, a different marching bands. Like, I was in marching bands my whole life growing up, so I met different people from different sides of town. So when I see you, I'm going to connect with you. And I'm going to talk to the people around you, too. So I feel like it kind of just, like, trickles. So if I see you and him, I know you. Now I know him. So if I see him out, it's like, goes on and on and on.
Yo, you are a good talker because I want to segue into that. So anybody listening right now, Slim is behind the camera. He's actually selling shirts right now. I see you got a nice shirt on, Joy, by the way. But if you want some Jaislay shirts, make sure you get my guy Slim. He's making shirts now.
Okay, then.
For sure.
Just tell him you know more than Masters. He might give you 10% no, he might not, depending on how you feeling. You know what I'm saying?
What day of the week I need to ask him?
Man, the brick is the brick.
Probably on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? That's when we make money together mostly on the weekend. So he's probably happy with me on the weekend. But yeah, shout out to Slim for doing that. I'm getting some shirts made. Let me know if y'all want some shirts. But you mentioned the band, so I want to talk about that a little bit. So what you do in the band? Like, what you do?
I was a dancer. So growing up, I had no rhythm. I could not dance at all. My family's kicked every joke.
There's a picture of you. You was a dancer when you was a little girl, or no?
I started in 7th grade. So starting in 7th grade, I danced.
I thought you posted a picture. You had like a band on your head or something like that. Was that then?
Probably was. There's no telling because I've been dancing forever. But growing up, like, I literally had no rhythm. I could not dance. I was the joke at every cookout, every party. So when I started dancing, everybody thought I was, like, you laughing, but I'm so serious. I had no rhythm at all. So when I started telling my mom I wanted to dance, everybody thought it was a joke. She was like, I'll take you to practice. And I ended up being the captain of, that was Bell Terry's little marching unit they had. And a couple months later, I was the captain, and I just kind of danced everywhere. I danced for CSRA All-Star Band was another place where I met a lot of people. I think. Yeah. Them pictures were terrible. That was like...
Definitely was terrible, but it's all good.
That was like the summer between 8th grade and 9th grade, those pictures that you've seen. So, yeah, I've been dancing forever. So, jumping from this band to that band, from this side of town, that side of town, that's another reason why I know a lot of people.
Got you. And then dancing. Being the captain, I'm pretty sure, I'm over them. Yeah, I'm the number one person here. Does that mean you captain? Mean you number one
Yeah,
dancer on the
like
team?
you the leader. Like you are responsible for everybody. You make up the stuff. You teach the stuff. You discipline. You do everything.
But does that mean you're the best dancer on the team? Not
I
necessarily.
wouldn't necessarily say it's the best dancer. It's more so about, yes, your skills are important because you got to be able to lead and teach and correct, but it's like more so leadership.
Got you.
So you can't be a leader with a terrible attitude. You don't know how to talk to people. You're not responsible. So it's like all that bubbled up together in one.
Okay. And so when you got to Cross Creek, they already knew you from dancing, I guess, in the city.
So that story. So I went to Spirit Creek the second half of my 8th grade year. I was supposed to go to Glen Hills. I had already made the dance line. I had already tried out before I went to 9th grade, paid for my uniform and everything. But when it came time to register for school, they wouldn't let me register because of my address. So I tried to use my grandma's address. It didn't work. So that year, I danced for the All-Star Band again because I had missed tryouts for Cross Creek, which I ain't gonna lie, their team was like ass that year anyway, so I didn't want to be a part of that team. Yeah, like I didn't want to be a part of it anyway. I was like, I'd rather dance for them, just being honest. So they knew of me, but not really, because I didn't really know a lot of them either, because I was new to that side of town. I didn't even know where Cross Creek was at literally until my first day of school. Literally did not know where the school was at. It's ducked off.
It is, definitely.
Yeah.
Old Waynesboro Road.
Old Waynesboro Road.
It's crazy, man. I had been there like twice, but I always was lost getting there. So I had like, back then, like in 08, 09, you couldn't really put in your phone. Like GPS just cut off on you sometime when you're driving. So like I always got lost.
And it was a fairly new school anyway, so a lot of people didn't know where it was at.
Yeah, it's cool. Ain't no, Cross Creek is cool. I don't want to talk bad about it. It's a good school, man. I heard they got good grades and all that stuff. So. Nothing wrong with that. So explain your time at Cross Creek. Like, how was your time there? Like all 4 years.
I had fun. Like it was a fun experience. Like we had a very strict principal, so we couldn't do as much stuff as other schools. Like we couldn't do a lot of stuff. They were very strict on us, even with the dance line. Like I think there was an article in the news saying that we were dancing like hoes or something because we was doing like the little basic majorette room dance that everybody else do, but they're so used to them just being very conservative and this, that, and the third. So I think like my line, I think we kind of like paved the way for them to be a little bit more accepting and understanding, so those girls can see what it is to be like a majorette, like big HBCUs and stuff. So it's like they were able to do more because of us being hard-headed and like, no, like we gonna do what we want to do. So
pretty much, if you go to Cross Creek, you can thank Joya Wiley for paving the way.
Just a little bit.
Gotta love it, man.
But no, it was cool. Like grades was always important to me. Like I joke, I play all day. I might barely go to school, but my grades gonna be good. That was me. Like I was never there, but my grades was always good.
You was never there. What you mean? You was never there?
I was never at school.
Oh, how did it happen? So what you did? Like, where were you at?
So my senior year, my first, second, and third class was the only class I needed to graduate. So I go to school first, second, and third, then just find my way out. Oh, okay,
I got you. But, so you were just smart enough to not have to be at school like your senior year the whole day. I thought you were saying you didn't go to school.
No, I was just didn't have to be there.
So I guess too, and I've had a podcast with Eric last year. It was probably one of my favorite podcasts from last year, honestly. Dope guy. He's very smart person too. We talked about like the stigma. Should I say stigma? Yeah, stigma / jokes that come with going to Cross Creek. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't even know that school was so brand new at the time. I'm not, I came out here 06. Yeah. I didn't know it was new. I just knew it was a school that people joked on, so I just kind of went with the jokes. And it was just funny, you know what I'm saying? But it's funny because people used to get upset. Now, as a joker, when people get upset, you joke more. I don't know. That's what you do. So I always just kept doing it. I never stopped. And he didn't get upset. We didn't make jokes, but he talked about it. And he kind of just said like, well, one of the reasons is because people assume that side of town is a certain way. They assume that everybody that go there is well off, and it's not the case for every single person. You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
And he just made some good, valid points. And he said, when people joked with them, you know what I'm saying, how he responded, it made them upset.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people would stop joking him about it. You know what I'm saying? So for you, like, what was like for you going, like, telling people you go to Cross Creek? Not me.
Not you.
Yes, but other people.
I don't know. Most people didn't either know I went there. Like, they assumed I went to a different school, or they always had little jokes on.
I wonder why was that? Why? See how cool you are? You're so cool. They assume you didn't go to Cross Creek.
Yeah, like, they assume if you go there that you lame, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean, or you rich, you stuck up, you this, that, and the third, when that's really not the case. Like, it was a it was a very mixed population school. I would say we were maybe like half black, half white. You might have half the school kids that are well off. Like a lot of the kids, the parents were in the military, so they were stationed because it was close to Fort Gordon, so they would go to Cross Creek. Or you had kids that lived in trailer parks. So it was just
a good little mixture.
Yeah, it was a very good mixture.
But you don't know, like, I mean, y'all know if you know somebody live, I guess, but you don't know from looking at the person where they from.
No,
like that.
You would not know at all. At all.
So, like, because I know we spoke a little bit, off air, like, were you happy when you found out you were going to Glen Hills? I mean, going to Cross Creek? Because you, technically speaking, going to Glen Hills.
Yeah, I would say that if I went to Glen Hills, just the people that I was used to being around, and a lot of the kids out there, they're bad, like, nothing against them. They are bad. Like, they're not as focused. Nothing against them, because there's a lot of them that are very smart. They are very focused, but there's a lot of them that, I don't know, it's just being around the same people that you go around with. Sometimes it's good to have a change. Like, when I went from Glen Hills, my grades were good. They weren't as good as they could have been. Like, they could have been a lot better, but it's like, this is my family. Like, I grew up with these people. We play around each other, but now I'm in a whole new environment where I don't know anybody. So, like, I'm kind of forced to focus on my grades. So, it kind of, like, changed me. It made me more focused in school.
Well, I guess to put in perspective, 'cause I know how it is when you're trying to talk about this area. You don't want to talk down on them like that.
Yeah, not talking down.
But when you think about the people that you probably would have been around and think about their experience in high school versus yours, that's probably how you make that assumption.
And then I feel like with the principal we had at Cross Creek, he was just very strict. Like, he did not play that. You're going to be in school, you're going to be in class on time, versus Glen Hills, like, they're kind of more relaxed. So that more strict path, I think it made me just more focused on my grades, because I know it ain't no playing around here.
And I think, too, like, for Cross Creek, people don't mention it a lot, but since it was a newer school, it's kind of like you got a standard you're trying to set for that school. You don't want to start off a new school and you just have them low grades. So y'all having them high grades. And one thing about me, I used to, like, I guess my only issue back then when I would, like, joke on it, and people's response would be, well, our grades are good. I'm like, all right, relax. That's cool. But now that I'm older, I understand the importance of it and why they pushed it. But because there was a new school, you couldn't be a new school with bad grades. They might have shut you down. What's the point of us opening? You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense now. When I was young, I'm like, why? What they got to do what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand that. But I made a joke. Why are you telling me your grades for? I don't understand. But I get it now. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool. But like I said, no matter what school you go to, I feel like every school got an honors program. Yeah. So it's some smart people in every single school. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's just about how you adapt to your environment and, what you're willing to be influenced by. And I think that's another word you probably didn't use, but talking about Glen Hills, it's the influence over there too. Yes. You from a certain area for a certain time, you start to pick up habits anyway that would have been around you. But being in a different school and whole new climate and just learning new things, you probably learn more stuff in high school than you probably would think you would have.
It's kind of like a culture shock, just switching from all black school where you go into a class where half your class white, and I've never experienced this in my life, so it's like, it's just a culture shock. When
I came down here from New York and I was going to Butler, and I seen a bunch of white kids and they was in one area, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, what? But they had, like, these black I ain't know what Gothic was. Yeah. We didn't have that where I'm from. Really? It was never none of that. Okay. So I was like, why I came down here in August, so it was like hot. So I'm like, why they got these black coats on for and it's mad hot outside? They were like doing karate and stuff.
Oh my god.
Over there in their little area though. Yeah. They wasn't in the black area, you know what I'm saying? And I'm looking around like, yo, it's mad white people in these classes. That's crazy. But it was a culture shock, you know what I'm saying? I never been to school. I think I went to school like 3, maybe 4 white people my whole life before down here. In the area up there, it's like, it's a melting pot, but it's more Jamaican, you know what I'm saying? Black, Puerto Rican, Hispanic, but not white. Like, that's like unheard of.
It's different.
Definitely different. I was like, okay. Different. The bus was mad wild. I'm like, a cheese bus every day.
I think another thing too, like being around like more white people, it kind of like make you watch how you are. If that makes sense, like you don't want to be what they stereotype us to be. So it's like you kind of like watch the way you act, the way you interact, things you do.
Definitely. I definitely do, and I definitely still test them. I try to say nigga a lot. I want to see if they're gonna say it. One thing I want to say is if they say buddy a lot, they probably say the N word. That's like a substitute. Somebody slipped up and said it to me the other day. I didn't hit him like that. He could tell. He upset. He kept apologizing. I was like, don't say it again, bro. Please. I don't know what you do in your spare time, but please don't say that word again. But he kept saying buddy, and I said he gonna slip up.
Brother,
about an hour later, he said it. I was like, God damn it.
What?
And he just froze. He's like, my bad. I was like, I don't know what you do in your spare time, but in Burke County, but out here we don't do that. We don't say those words. Not your kind. But anyway, All right, so after you graduate from Crow Creek, what you do after that? What was your goal to do after that?
Honestly, I never really knew what I wanted to do. Like, I just know I wanted to make money.
So you didn't want to dance after high school?
I kind of, sort of, but not really. Like, it wasn't really a priority to me. Like, I just wanted to do whatever I need to do to make money. Like, I was going to go to the military, went off to college. Like, I just...
Imagine that, Sergeant Wiley.
I was
Sergeant
going to go
Joya.
to the Air Force.
Air Force?
Was.
You should have. Why, what made you not go?
Honestly, I don't know.
Streets is calling you, man.
Yeah, money was calling me. I think I just started getting like really good jobs at a really young age, making a lot of money that people at my age weren't making. And it's kind of like, what I need to go to school for? Like, the money right here. What I'm going to school for?
So I want to talk about that for a second. Like, in that mindset, like, now, do you still think that was a good idea or not?
I don't. I wish I would have went to school when I was younger versus now. Like, I just got my second degree in July. And it's like I'm 28. I could have did this a long time ago.
Congrats, by the way.
Thank you. I could have been got these degrees. I could have been high up in my career at this point versus me just now getting a degree, probably starting entry level to get into my field and then work my way up. So I wish I would have did things differently, but I didn't really have a lot of guidance in a lot of things growing up. So I really just been figuring stuff out on my own my whole life.
So talk about guidance. Like, who would you consider like mentors wise then for you?
Really didn't have any.
Are you like you the oldest, youngest?
I'm the baby. I have 3 older siblings on my mom's side and 2 on my dad's side. My dad's side, my oldest sister, I talk to her now, but we just reconnected maybe like 4 years ago. Don't talk to the other sister. They're my 2 oldest brothers. One is in Ohio, one is in Oklahoma. So it's me and my sister here, but like she was kind of like my mother growing up. So it's like she was young, trying to figure out what to do with herself, but she didn't have the guidance either. So it's like we just been figuring shit out. And
I asked that because I know like at 17, 18, 19, obviously one thing I'll tell anybody that age, no matter what I tell you, you're going to do what you want to do because you're not going to believe it from me until you go through it. Like sometimes experience is the only thing that's going to get you to understand why you shouldn't do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And with that being said, when you are young and you're making money that you feel other grown-ups are making, you don't even see that they might be struggling as well. So that's really not no money. But since you're 19, 18, it's like, I'm getting $800 every 2 weeks. You crazy?
Look
and it's
at
like,
that, like, man, that wasn't nothing.
That ain't, but when you're 18, it's like, other 18 are making $200 every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm making 4 times them, so I'm good to go. And that's not necessarily the best way to think. But when you're young and you all think on your toes and you kind of don't have no guidance or you kind of doing what you want to do, that's like the best decision to make at the time.
And then you're making this money and blowing it because ain't nobody telling you about saving, nobody telling you about your credit, nobody telling you about nothing. So you just blowing money.
All these shoes. Was you one of them people that you had the shoes that match the socks, match the shorts, match the shirt?
No. I had all the shoes, but not them.
Not the socks.
I don't like matching.
I thought I seen you in a picture with some matching thick socks and some Jordans on one time. It could have been somebody else. Maybe Tay or somebody. I don't know. I thought it was you. No. Because y'all both popular, so I don't know. Oh, but all right. So after high school, you know what I'm saying, you say you start making this money. So you decide not to go to school, not to go to college, or not to go to military?
So I took a semester off. I was working, and then I went to Augusta State for a year, and I stopped. I honestly don't even know why I stopped. I stopped going there for a year, started back working. I was like, okay, let me try school again. Went to Georgia Southern for a year, but I was too focused on money, and my mom was paying my rent there, but I felt bad with her paying her rent and paying my rent. I was coming home to Liz to work every weekend. I was like, if I'm going to drive home every weekend, I might as well just go back home. So I stayed there for a year, then I came back home. And I would kind of get, like, in and out of school, but I feel like I didn't really get focused on anything until I had my daughter. Like, when I had her, like, my focus have been completely different. Like, I finally had, I guess, a real responsibility.
So, what age was that when you had your daughter?
I had her when I was 24.
So at this time, 24. So you've been in and out of school for what 6 years now, something like that. When you was in school, did you take it seriously at all? Like, or you just kind of went, I'm smart, I'm just gonna go?
No, I took it seriously. I always had good grades. Like when I went off to Southern, like everybody around me, we all partying together. They flunking out of class, but I got my Hope Scholarship while I was in school down there. So it's like I'm always the one that don't really have to study that much, or I grasp stuff quickly. So people think that they can hang out the way I hang out and get grades.
Got you. But they couldn't do the stuff you can do because you just used to doing that.
Yeah, like I've always been like that. Like I've always been a very bad procrastinator. So like I know how to do stuff at the last minute and get it done when everybody can't do that.
So now you mentioned having your daughter. So with the birth of your daughter, what mindset did that put you in as far as life and just making better decisions?
I just knew that I've always been very independent, which is why I've always wanted to work because I don't like asking for help, and I wanted to be in that same position with her. Push comes to shove, I got her. So I just knew I wanted to get a good job. I want to, get my credit together, get my savings together, like get everything I need together for her. She just changed everything.
Now with Liz, one thing I always say about you when you worked there, why didn't you give discounts? I'm not understand why
you can't just
I feel
give
like I
out
pay extra for her when I
first of
came to you.
all.
I don't know. I feel like I would pay extra. I feel like to have a 30, you made
Why would
pay
I make
40.
you pay extra?
I don't. You say you had to make budget, so I don't know. I'm just trying to figure that out now. Cause I feel like I came in 3-4 times and my hat was like very, very expensive. Like, damn, I be going there now. It's way lower. I'm like, what's going on?
Well, they probably not getting no business, so they probably changed their prices. But that ain't got nothing to do with me,
Why couldn't you change your prices?
Because why?
I'm black. You don't get a
I'm
black
too.
discount?
No. You got your Liz card. You could have got your discount with that.
Yeah, you kept trying to give me a Liz card. I'm like, I don't want no damn Liz card.
You could have got 10% off. That's better than nothing.
I think I did get a Liz card one time. I think it's gonna be cheaper. And I think it still was like I feel like you added 10%. I'm being honest with you. I was like, damn, what did it do?
You just love lying on me.
Nah, because I always get my hat. I don't buy regular. I always get them something on them every time. And you did a good job making them. I say that much. Cause I just bought one that wasn't really great. I knew something wrong. He was like, "How'd that look?" I'm like, "Come on now." I think we both was looking at the same hat, ain't it? Like, it wasn't good.
What they doing outside is the question.
Huh?
So what they doing outside?
No, they came. Oh, outside the outside the shop, probably just trapping. I don't know. You know how this Sunday, man. But so with this, what do you think your experience at Lids did for you as far as working wise? Cause like you was traveling, you was doing a lot of stuff with that company.
I was at Lids. I started working there as like a seasonal worker. I was working there before I went off to Southern, just to get some extra money in my pocket before I went off to school. But they liked how much I worked, so they kept me on, which I wasn't supposed to. And like I said, I come home every weekend. I work during the summer, and I was just always willing to work. I'm the kind of person, like, if I'm just sitting at home doing that, I might as well be at work making money. So whenever they needed me, I'll be there. My numbers were always really good. I was great at upselling people like you.
Yeah, I bet you was.
Everybody, you gonna get something on your hat. You gonna get something. You gonna get more than one hat. Like I was really good at upselling. So I progressed and got promoted like 3 times within 1 year because I was working so hard there. I went from a regular associate to part-time assistant manager to full-time assistant manager. Then I was a store manager in training. So like if stores needed help, like say if a manager out of in different city needed backup, I would go fill in for them, and they just liked the way that I could basically maintain myself and run myself anywhere. So they offered me a store manager position in Savannah, but I chose to move to Florida instead. And that's a whole other segment of my life.
I'm not gonna
talk about
since
today.
I know you, so I'm not gonna ask you. Yeah, I wouldn't. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not important to talk about this right now. But yeah, so that was another young decision that you probably wouldn't have made. Thinking back now, you know what I'm saying?
But I think that just gave me. It helped me manage my own, because if you didn't notice, like, we was always in there by ourselves. So like I knew how to handle myself, regardless if it's busy, if it's slow, like just how to make stuff happen. So I actually learned a lot working there.
That's why I asked you that. Now I know you always say I worked this a long time ago, but from what I know about business, and I remember like me remembering the stuff you were doing back then, like traveling, all that stuff, and the stuff you were saying and tweeting and learning, and based on what you're doing now, I feel like that helped you probably more than a lot of other jobs with how you're doing stuff now. Me personally, but we'll get into that in a second. But I do want to talk about just with you having a daughter. So at what point do you decide like, okay, well, I gotta get my stuff together, I want to do X, Y, Z, and like I said, with you saying like, you had this lack of guidance, what role does that play in motherhood for you?
It plays everything. Me and my sister have this conversation all the time. Like, we just, all the things that we wish we would have had growing up, we just try to make sure that we do that for our kids, because she has kids too. So we try to parent a lot different. Like, nothing against my parents, but we just try to do things a lot different from what they did.
Right.
But I would say as soon as I found out I was pregnant, it was like a wake-up call. Like, okay, like, it's time to get it together. You've been playing. It's time to get everything, like seriously, like it's time to get everything together. And that's when I decided to move back home so I can be close to the family. I have more support. I can live with my mom for a little bit while I save up to get us something. So, yeah.
So, and that, like I said, and my main reason for even asking that, because I feel like, like most people probably, once you did have your child, you actually, I understand you changed. Like, you get a little more serious, you know what I'm saying, and decisions you making as far as working wise and all the other stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like you got great
always
jobs.
Be childish, but yeah, I did grow up a little bit.
That's the thing I want to talk about. Like, but you still stay the same as far as like that. You still joke people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a joker. I like joking. I use social media strictly for joking. I put my links and stuff up there, but on Twitter, if you want to be serious, it ain't for me. I'm telling you right now.
Not the person.
I'm not. I'm telling you, I'm not. You might unfollow me. I'm telling you right now. I tell you all the time. They be like, you joke too much. Hey, you have to follow me. I'm telling you, because I'm a joker. I use this to. I had a bad day. I go on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm not using it for. I'm not an activist, but not no crazy activist.
Yeah.
That's Facebook. You know, Facebook is the branding thing. That's when you want to. You
Yeah.
got one little lane you in. But Twitter, I mean, any kind of lane. Might be nasty one day. Might be funny one day. It don't matter. Like it's free fall for everybody. But I did see like, just how you utilize social media and like the stuff you speak about and joke about. You just more aware of the stuff you say and stuff like that now. So obviously I did see the growth in that. So I'm trying to. So once you come back, you got your daughter. You got things settled. Like you finally moved. I remember you moved. That was a big deal. I remember you tweeting all that stuff. So at what point, like, do you feel like, okay, well, now I want to try to make some money on my own besides when I'm working?
So how I got to that point. So after Lids, well, fast forward past all that, I worked at Verizon for like 2.5 years, which it was a great job. Money was good. The hours working retail and then having a little child, like, I got to find somebody to watch on the weekend. I'm getting off late at night and I got a little baby. And they kept messing up our commission structure. So they literally was purposely making it harder and harder to make money. And I'm like, why am I putting in 120% here?
That's cool.
Putting in the same amount of work that I was putting in last year, and my commission check is half of what it was for doing the same shit I did a year ago. So I'm like, why am I doing this? So I knew at that point, like, I got to find something to do. I got to find something to do quick. But then at the same time, it's like, I don't want to rush it. Like, I don't want to just bullshit something and put something out, just say I got something.
Right.
So let me take my time. Let me find something I really want to do and let me invest and put my all into it before I just release it. Like, I want it to be legit when it comes out.
So one thing I noticed, like I said, I look at everything, right? And I did feel like at some point you were going to be working for yourself or doing your own thing, because I noticed that when you get, like, I don't even know if like last two places you work, when you get somewhere you like it a lot at first, right? And then it's like things start changing, and you still like the stuff, but it's like the things that changing are in your benefit. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I feel like when you working for somebody, you can't change. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, yeah, okay. When you said the new job you work at, like, you liked it, but then like stuff started changing a little bit. I'm like, I predicted that. Yeah, I said, well, she like it now, because some say, you know what? I said, she tweeting too much about this job. It's too good to be true. Something up, and then sure enough, I said, here they come. I remember looking at your tweets, thinking that, like, I remember she liked Verizon a lot too when she first started, and then it kind of changed. So just new company, I don't know. And then when Jaislay started taking off, it's like, I'm like, oh yeah, it's only a matter of time now. She about to be a body.
But I feel like I'm the kind of person that will never be satisfied at any job. Like, no matter how much I like it, like, it's still gonna be something I'm be like, nah, like, this some bull.
I could see that, especially now that you like doing your own thing. It's like I feel like you kind of see like a lot of companies do stuff for self.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So only way you're gonna be able to be happy somewhere is if you're working for yourself half the time.
Like, they'll mask something and make it seem like it's for us, but it's really to benefit them. Like,
exactly.
The big dogs, the ones that sitting at home doing nothing while we at the front line working hard, making a less amount of money while they chilling off of us, our hard work. So it's like, no.